Very good morning to all of you, my friends. I hope you guys are doing good. I gave you few questions homework in the last session. I hope you guys were able to solve the questions related to material and labor variances. If you guys have any queries, then I'll resolve your queries first, then we'll proceed further with the remaining part of the chapter. So let me see if there are any queries today. I hope you guys have solved all the questions. There is a query on illustration number 6. Let me check what is there in illustration number 6. Anyone else having any queries? There is a query on illustration number 6 and 14. I think it is practical question number 14. Yes, Srujna, don't worry, you can please. Very good morning, Roshan. Roshan, very good morning, Nadeem. Practical question number 6, illustration number 8. So let me check, guys. Let's start with illustration number 8. It's a full-fledged question because 2-3 students has mentioned that they are facing problem in illustration number 8. So let's start with illustration number 8. Thereafter, we'll discuss illustration number 6. And then let's see if there are any more queries. Then I'll try to address all the queries. So before starting with illustration number 8, let me discuss what all I have discussed in labor variances. The first variance what we have calculated is labor cost variance, wherein the formula is standard R into standard rate minus actual R into actual rate. Further, the two parts, just like material, wherein the first one will be labor rate variance, similar to material price variance. Standard rate minus actual rate into actual R. And the next one is labor time variance, wherein standard R minus actual R into standard rate. Further, if there is any idle time given in the question, then we will calculate idle time variance also. Wherein the formula is idle hours into standard rate. Further, labor mix variance we discussed. wherein we discuss the formula for labor mix variance, how this labor mix variance is calculated. That is standard mix minus actual R worked into standard rate. Thereafter, we discuss labor yield variance or efficiency variance, wherein the formula is standard hours minus standard mix into standard. So these are the various formulas that are discussed in labor variances, wherein we discussed further how these formulas are derived. So now let's proceed further. We'll start with illustration number 8 because 2 to 3 students has mentioned that they are not being able to solve illustration number 8. Thereafter, we'll discuss remaining questions. So let's start with illustration number 8 of study material. The page number is 13.32. I request you guys to please open your study material. I'll be discussing illustration number 8. I request you guys to please open your study material, page number 13.32. I'm discussing illustration number 8. Very good morning, Manisha. So the standard labor employment and the actual labor engaged in a week for a job are as under, wherein the standard number of worker in the gang is 32, 12, and 6. Actual number is given, standard wage rate per hour is given. So herein the number of worker is given and the rate is given not per worker, per hour. Further, during the 40 hours week, the gang produced only 1800 labor hours of work. Calculate the labor cost variance and all the other variances. So herein, this question is a bit different from the questions what we have discussed till now. In every question, the output is given in form of units. In each and every question, the output is given in form of units. But in this question, the output is given in form of hours. So let's start with this question, illustration number 8. Herein there are 3 types of workers: skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled. Further, wherein talking about the number of workers, there are 32 skilled workers which were working for 40 hours in a week. So total hours were 1280. 32 workers into 40 weeks. Similarly, in case of semi-skilled workers, it is 12 into 40. So it will be 480 hours. And the third one is 6 workers. So 6 into 40, that is 240 hours. So in aggregate, 2000 hours they work. Further, the rate per hour is given, that is 3, 2, and 1. Now, when talking about the actual data, the actual number of workers were 28 for skilled So 28 into 40, 1120 hours were paid to skilled workers, and the rate of wages was 4 rupees per hour. Similarly, the number of semi-skilled workers were 18, and they worked for 40 hours. So in aggregate, 720 hours for semi-skilled workers, and they were paid wages at the rate rupees 3 per hour. Similarly, when talking about the number of skilled workers, it is given in the question. That is, there are 4 workers and they work for 40 hours. To total in aggregate 160 hours. And the rate is rupees 2 per hour. So the total number of actual hours worked is 1120 plus 720 plus 160. Actually, they work for 2000 hours. However, the output, the productive hours were only 1800. That is, they have generated an output of 1800 hours. Herein, the output is not given in units. It is given in hours. So they work for 2000 hours. However, the output, the hours, the productive hours were only 1800 hours. So output was only 1800 hours. So herein in this question, the output is given in hours only. That is 1800 hours. Edwin sir, the screen is visible to all. Manish sir. Manish sir. The screen is visible, na? Everything is clear, na? It's not looking blur, na? The letters and all are visible, na? Okay, fine, sir. I hope what writing is visible to all. I request you, Mr. Manoj Kumar, to please refresh your internet connection. So now, herein, the budgeted data is given for 2000 hours of output. However, when talking about the actual data is given only for 1800 hours of output. The actual data is given only for 1800 hours for output. Herein, this budgeted data is for 2000 hours of output and the actual data is for 1800 hours of output. So herein, are these two figures comparable? No, because the output is not same. So we have to prepare revised standard. So we have to prepare revised standard now. We'll be calculating standard hours. For skilled 1280 hours for 2000 hours of output. 1280 hours for 2000 hours of output. So for 1800, how much? Similarly, for semi-skilled again, 480 hours for 2000 hours of output. So for 1800 hours, how much? Similarly, for unskilled also, 240 hours for 2000 hours of output. So for 1800 hours of output, how much? No, Vinodini, it's not the normal loss. So 1280 divided by 2000 into 1800. So this will be 1152. Sorry. So this is how I'll get the standard hours, that is 1152, 432 and 216. And this should be at the rate 3, 2 and 1. So 216, 864 and 3456. So my table is ready now. Very good, Sunil Kumar. Very good, Dhyanesh. Very good, Priyanka. Your answers are correct. So now my master chart is ready. Now, once this chart is ready, I can solve any question easily. So now when talking about the first part, that is labor cost variance, the total cost which we were supposed to incur for 1800 hours of output was 4536. But however, for these 1800 hours, we actually spent 6960. So my cost variance is 2424 adverse. I repeat again, for 1800 hours of productive output, for 1800 productive hours, the cost that was supposed to be incurred is 4536. However, we actually incurred 6960. How much extra we incurred? 2424. That is adverse. Again, two parts, wherein the first part is labor rate variance. And the second one is labor time variance. When talking about the rate variance, very simple. The rate, that is the standard rate minus actual rate into actual hours. So this will be 2000 adverse, 3 minus 4 into 1120, 2 minus 3 into 720 and 1 minus 2 into 160. This is how we will get 2000 adverse. When talking about labor time variance, standard time minus actual time into standard rate. So 1152 minus 1120 into my standard rate, that is 3. Next is 432 minus 720 into 2. Next is 216 minus 160 into 1. So 1152 minus 1120 into 3, 96 favorable. 432 minus 720 into 2, that is 576 adverse. Next is 216 minus 160. So that is 56 favorable. So this is 424 adverse. 2000 adverse plus 424 adverse is 2424 adverse. Now the next part is labor mix variance. Now these 2000 hours should be in the ratio of 1280, 480 and 240. So these 2000, that is actual hours, should be in the ratio, should be in the mix of 1280, 480 and 240. I'm taking the same figures because herein also the total is 2000. That's why same figure will be used. So 2000 should be in the ratio of 1280 is to 480 is to 240. However, my actual mix was 1120, 720 and 160 into my standard rate, that is 3, 2 and 1. So this will be 480 favorable. This will be 480 adverse. And this will be 80 favorable. So the total will be 80 favorable. When talking about labor yield variance, when talking about the labor yield variance, we should have consumed only 1800 hours to complete the job. 1800 hours should be used to get a productive output of 1800 hours. However, we actually consume 2000 hours. That is 200 hours extra into my weighted average rate. That is 4536 divided by 1800. 4536 divided by 1800. So this will be 504 adverse. So this is the way you guys have to solve the question. Idle hours will be straight away given in the question that this much is the idle hours. Very good, Aslam. Very good, Vedant. Very good, Shivani. Very good, Priyanka. Very good, Khushi. Very good, Mr. Aslam. Very good, Dhyanesh. See, Vinodini, even though they have worked for 2000 hours, but the productive hours, that is the output, herein the output is not given in units, it is given in hours. So the productive hours were only 1800. So 200, we can say somehow it is an abnormal loss, but it is not idle hours. Idle hours will be straight away given in the question. So now, yes, Mr. Aslam. So guys, now this is all what about labor variances. There are still one or two more doubts there are still 2 to 3 doubts from students. So I'll be covering these doubts. Let me first finish fixed and variable overhead variances, and thereafter, if the time permits, I'll try to address all your queries. Because today is the last session of standard costing, so I want to finish fixed and variable overheads first. I hope we'll be left out with half an hour. So in the last half hour, we'll try to resolve all your queries. That is, there is one doubt from Alok, question number 3. Further, there are 1 or 2 doubts from Dhyanesh also. So we'll try to address your queries, but let me finish fixed and variable overheads first. I request you guys to please copy the presentation. Again, the solution in study material is a bit different. So the point is, wherever you see the question relating to material or labor variances, better prepare this table. This is the master table. Once the table is ready, you can solve any of the questions. I hope you guys are not solving the question using formulas. You are applying the concept. Will surely, if the time permits, Srujana, will surely, Srujana. Still, I suggest you to try it on your own. Again, if you are thorough with the concept, you can easily solve any type of question. So let's start now. Those who want to copy, giving you 2 minutes time. Will for sure I'll discuss 1 or 2 questions on missing figure. Don't worry, Srujana. Yes, Sunil Kumar, better write the formula, but yes, for better understanding, I request you to please memorize the concepts rather than formulas. फॉर्मूला अगर याद करोगे तो कहीं ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम आएगा ही आपको. So better memorize the concept what I have taught in class. I assure you, you will be able to solve any type of question, even the missing figure question also. I hope all of you are using the concepts to solve the question rather than memorizing the formula. Very good, Dhyanesh. Very good, Srujana. Srujana, try and solving the exams, past exam question. You will be able to solve if you are thorough with the concepts. So just giving you a minute time more. Please copy the solution. Then we'll start with fixed and variable overheads. Very good, Pranav. Very good, Aslam. No worries, Kavita. Just give me some time. Let me complete the explanation of fixed and variable overhead. Then we'll try to address. Thank you so much, Srujana. Thank you so much for the compliment. Thank you so much, Shivani. So now let's get back. We are done with material variances. We are done with labor variances. Now let's start with the investigation of fixed and variable overhead department. So let's first start with fixed overhead. Now, whenever you see a question on fixed overhead, will surely, Prachi, don't worry. Let me complete fixed and variable overheads first. It will be completed in 1.5 hours. Don't worry. Thereafter, we'll address all your queries. Because if I devote right now, if I put some time on all these questions, then ऐसा नहीं हो कि बाद में fixed और variable overhead के लिए time नहीं बचे. So let me finish the fixed and variable overhead part, and then we'll try to address all your queries. So let's start, guys. Now, whenever you see a question on fixed overhead, please try to prepare this table. That is budget and actual. In most of the cases, the question will be given in the same format only. However, if any word problem is given, then try to convert in this format. So let's say my budgeted days are given 25 and my actual days are given 26. Further, the budgeted hours are also given. Let's say 30,000 hours is the budgeted hours and the actual hours worked is 33,000 hours. Further, let's say units are also given. That is 30,000 is the budgeted units and 32,500 is the actual number of units. Further, let's say overheads are also given. Fixed overheads. That is 45,000 and 50,000. So herein I am taking the same format that we are using to solve the question, but still, if there are any word problem given in the question, then better convert first into this format and then try to solve the question. So let's start, guys. Now, the first variance what we do calculate is fixed overhead cost variance. The first variance what we do calculate is fixed overhead cost variance. Now this variance is nothing but calculation of under or over absorption of overhead. That is what we have already discussed in overhead. So 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. I'm using the same concept what I have discussed in overhead. So 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much overheads? 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much are the overheads? So 48,750 is my absorbed overheads. How much will be my absorbed overhead? 48,750. How come I have calculated? That is 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units of output. That is my budgeted output. However, my actual output was 32,500. So my absorbed overheads will be how much? 48,750. However, my actual overheads are how much? 50,000. 48,750 is my absorbed overheads and 50,000 is my actual overhead. So how much? 1250. That is what we call as adverse. 48,750 खर्चा होना चाहिए था, 50,000 खर्चा हुआ. So 1250 extra we call it as adverse. Now, can you guys tell me it is under or over absorption of overheads? Can you guys tell me it is under or over absorption of overheads? My absorbed overheads are 48,750. My actual overheads are 50,000. So can you guys tell me it is under or over absorption of overhead? Waiting for your answers, guys. ये under absorption है या over absorption है? Okay, I've got answer from Jyoti. Very good. Your answer is correct. Guys, tell me this is under absorption or over absorption of overhead? I've got answer only from Jyoti. Okay, I've got answer from many of you guys. Mohammad Aslam incorrect. Vinodini correct. Vinayaka VN incorrect. Yes, Sri Hari Venkat Ramnan. Correct answer. Under absorption. Kavita. Lakshmi, very good morning, my dear. Yes, it is under absorption, guys. I request you to please revise once again the overheads chapter. I think you are not doing the revision. This is not over absorption. This is under absorption of overhead. My absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads. So it is under absorption. If absorbed overheads are less, it is under absorption. If absorbed overheads are more, it is over absorption. So let's proceed further, guys. So 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 48,750. 48,750 खर्च होना चाहिए था, 50,000 खर्च हुआ. How much extra? 1250. Now next is fixed overhead expenditure variance. Fixed overhead expenditure variance. Very simple, guys. How much fixed overheads were supposed to be incurred? 45,000. How much we actually incurred? 50,000. So this is 5,000 adverse. Since fixed overhead remain fixed at all the level of production, so when calculating fixed overhead, 45,000 fixed overhead, my budgeted over fixed overhead minus my actual fixed overhead, 50,000. So this is 5,000 adverse. Very good morning. Very good, Janesh. So fixed overhead expenditure variance straight away. Since fixed overhead remain fixed at all the level of production, so the expenditure variance will be calculated in a straight way, wherein my budgeted fixed overhead 45,000 खर्च होना चाहिए था, 50,000 खर्च हुआ, 5,000 extra we have spent. So this is what fixed overhead expenditure variance. Now next is fixed overhead volume variance. From the name itself, we can identify it talks about volume. Fixed overhead volume. Volume means what? Units. Fixed overhead units variance, or Sri Sai Srujana sir, repeat again, fixed overhead. That's the name itself says fixed overhead expenditure variance. So we will calculate it straight away. The reason is fixed overheads remain constant at all the level of production. So we can easily calculate expenditure variance as 45,000 खर्च होना चाहिए था, 50,000 खर्च हुआ, 5,000 extra. So we call it as adverse. Now the next is very important part, that is Manish sir. Manish sir, can you please put a session on hold for 2-3 minutes? किया आपने होल्ड पे? Manish sir, have you put the session on hold? Okay, board blur दिख रहा है क्या? Okay. I hope now the letters are visible to all. So now let's proceed further. When talking about the volume variance, the name itself says volume. The name itself says volume, that is units. Fixed overhead units variance. Very simple, guys. Fixed overhead volume variance, that is, it talks about units. So how much units we were supposed to produce? 30,000 units. As per the target set by the management, we were supposed to produce 30,000 units. However, when the actual figures were out, we manufactured 32,500 units. It means how many units extra we manufactured? 2,500 units extra we manufactured. So this is a good thing for the company. So from here and onwards, you'll be taking the standard rate, because the difference between the actual and the budgeted figures is already removed. So we'll be taking now the standard overhead rate. So herein, we were supposed to produce 30,000 units. We were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units. However, when the actual figures were out, we actually manufactured 32,500 units. That is 2,500 units ज़्यादा manufacture किया. So it is a good thing for the company. Into Since this is units, so we'll be taking budgeted rate per unit. So 45,000 divided by 30,000, that is 1.5 per unit. How come 1.5? 45,000 rupees divided by 30,000 units. I hope, Mr. Mohsin, the figures are visible now. So, since the name itself says volume variance, volume means what? Units. That is variance due to change in unit. So, how much change in units? We were supposed to manufacture only 30,000 units. However, when the actual figures were out, we manufactured 32,500 units. That is 2,500 units extra we manufactured. So, it is a good thing for the company into the standard rate per unit. Why per unit rate? Because we have calculated the number of units. So herein, this will be 3750 favorable. The important part is it is favorable. Fixed overhead mein, Kavita Chandak, in expenditure variance, why I have taken 45,000? Because fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production. So that's why the expenditure that was supposed to incur is 45,000. However, we actually incurred 50,000. That's why 5,000 expenditure variance. So now, fixed overhead volume variance, I repeat again, it talks about the volume. That is how much variance due to change in volume. So 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture. We manufactured 32,500 units. That is 2,500 units extra we manufactured into the rate per unit. Now again, if there is any change in unit, then it may be due to the following reasons. That is depending upon the extra days we worked. So the first reason can be depending upon the number of days we worked. So herein, the first variance what we do calculate is fixed overhead calendar variance. It's up to you. Both the approaches are correct, Shri Hari. Now, when talking about the calendar variance, it talks about days. Now, let me give you an explanation how to calculate the calendar variance. The company was supposed to work for 25 days. It means my labor force should be present only for 25 days in a month. However, they were actually present for 26 days in a month. I repeat again, my workforce was supposed to work only for 25 days in a month. However, when the actual data were out or when the actual figures were out, they served the company for 26 days. That is 1 day extra above our expectation. So they were supposed to work for 25 days in a month. However, they actually worked for 26 days in a month. That is 1 day extra they worked for the company. So very important. Don't think about efficiency. I'll be discussing efficiency variance separately. But from the perspective of the number of days we worked, herein the workers has worked for 1 day extra. So this is a good sign for the company. That's why it will be favorable. And since we have calculated the day, so it will be rate per day. So when talking about the rate per day, 45,000 overheads for 25 days. So how much will be the rate per day? Very simple, 1,800. So this will be 1,800 favorable. This is the star point. That is why it is favorable, because from individual perspective, ignore the efficiency part. The workers were supposed to work for 25 days in a month, but my work for actually 46 days in a month. That is 1 day extra they work. So that's why it will be favorable. So volume means units, calendar variance means days. Now the next is fixed overhead capacity variance. When talking about capacity, it talks about hours. So once the figure is calculated in days, we will use the rate per day. If the figure is calculated in units, we will calculate the rate per unit. Now, when talking about capacity, we'll be calculating, it talks about hours. So we'll be using the rate per hour. Now, units is over, days is over. And then now talking about hours, budgeted hours were 30,000. However, actual hours were 33,000. That is 3,000 hours extra हम लोगों ने काम किया. So it is a good sign for the company. But herein, we worked for extra hours. Why? Because we work for extra days. So we have to incorporate the days also in the capacity variance. So I'll be writing the explanation for better understanding. Wherein we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. How come 31,200? The budgeted hours are 30,000 in 25 days. So how much hours in 26 days? See, herein there is a difference of 3,000 hours. It may be due to the number of days also and the hours worked also. So we will incorporate the number of days also in capacity variance. So herein we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. That is how come 31,200? 30,000 hours in 25 days. So 26 days में हमने कितने घंटे काम करने का capacity था? 31,200. I repeat again, in 26 days. This 30,000 hours is for 25 days. So in 26 days, I'm discussing, don't worry, have some patience. These 30,000 hours we were supposed to work for 25 days, but actually we work for 26 days. So herein the capacity variance, in capacity variance, we'll be considering the days part also. So we have the capacity to work for 30,000 hours in 25 days. So in 26 days, we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours. But in these 26 days, instead of 31,200 hours, we work for 33,000 hours. So we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. However, we worked for 33,000 hours in 26 days. 26 days में हमारा कैपेसिटी कितना था? 31,200 hours. कैसे आया 31,200 hours? 30,000 hours in 25 days. So 26 days में कितना कैपेसिटी था? 31,200 hours. In 26 days, we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours. However, in these 26 days, we work for 33,000 hours. That is 1,800 hours extra we worked over and above our capacity. That is 1,800 hours we worked. How come 8,100 hours? 31,200 hours was our capacity, but we worked for 33,000 hours. That is 1,800 hours we worked above our above our capacity. That is good for company. Therefore, 1800 hours into the rate per hour. Since it is hours, we will be taking the rate per hour. So this will be 2700 favorable. How come this 1.5 per hour? 45,000 overheads divided by 30,000 hours. So again, it's a bit tricky, but guys, for better understanding, I have written the concept also. So I request you guys to please copy this concept. Herein, I repeat again, the name itself says capacity. So it talks about hours. अब हम लोग ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि 30,000 hours का capacity था, we work for 33,000 hours. Herein 3,000 hours extra काम किया, मगर number of days also we worked extra. Herein 1 day extra we have worked. So we have to remove the effect of the days. So herein we can say we have the capacity for 30,000 hours in 25 days. So in 26 days हमारा capacity कितना था? 31,200. But in these 26 days, instead of 31,200 hours, we worked for 33,000 hours. That is 1,800 hours above our capacity. That's why it is favorable for you. So if you guys have any doubts in capacity variance, you guys can please post your queries. Waiting for your queries, guys. I hope you guys are thorough with what I have discussed in capacity variance. It's a bit tricky part. Waiting for your queries and waiting for your answers. I hope you guys have understood what I want to explain you relating to capacity variance. Srujana, I hope this part is clear to you. Dhyanesh, Aslam, Jyoti. Why this favorable? That is very important. Wherein, I repeat again, we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. But in these 26 days, instead of 31,200 hours, we worked extra. We worked for 33,000 hours. That is 1,800 hours extra we worked. Again, we are not talking about the efficiency. We are talking about the capacity. कि हमारा capacity कितना था और हमने कितने घंटे काम किया. That is very important. Yes, Prachi, I'll be discussing this part. Have some patience, my dear. A good question. Let's say if the budgeted days is 25 and the actual days is 25. If my budgeted days is 25 and my actual days is also 25, then we can say हमारा capacity कितना था? 30,000 hours का. How much hours we worked? 33,000. How much hours extra we worked? 3,000. 3,000 into 1.5, 4,500 favorable. If the days are same, then we can easily calculate the capacity variance. 30,000 hours is our capacity. We work for 33,000 hours, 3,000 hours extra into the rate per hour, that is 1.5, 4,500. Very good, Dhyanesh. Well said. We'll try to, Srujna, don't worry. Now let's move towards the next part. Last part of fixed overhead variance. Last but not least, efficiency variance. Fixed overhead The name itself says efficiency. क्या हमने efficiently काम किया या नहीं किया? So let's see whether we worked efficiently or not. So when talking about the efficiency variance, the budgeted data is given, that is 30,000 units and 30,000 hours. It means 30,000 units should be manufactured in 30,000 hours. 30,000 hours, 30,000 units. Sorry. 30,000 units should be completed in 30,000 hours. As per the target set by the management, these 30,000 units should be manufactured in 30,000 hours. It means one unit should take not more than 1 hour. हर यूनिट को बनाने में 1 घंटा ही लगना चाहिए. When talking about the actual production, 32,500 units we manufactured actually. Yes, Sunil Kumar. $32,500 units we actually manufactured. So this should take not more than 32,500 hours. So one unit should take not more than 1 hour. So 32,500 units भी हमारे 32,005 hours में complete हो जाने चाहिए थे. But for manufacturing these 32,500 units, we actually took how many hours? 33,000 hours. The work was supposed to be completed in 32,500 hours, but we actually took 33,000 hours. That is 500 hours is we took extra. It shows our inefficiency. Therefore, 500 hours is my inefficiency. So therefore, it is adverse. So 500 into 1.5, the rate per hour. So this will be 750 adverse. So if you guys have any doubts, these are the concepts of fixed overhead. It's a bit tricky part and a lengthy part, wherein when talking about the efficiency variance, check the units and the hour. One unit should take not more than 1 hour. It means my actual production is 32,500. So the 32,500 units should be manufactured in 32,500 hours. However, we actually worked for 33,000 hours. That is how much hours extra we worked. 500 hours extra is our inefficiency. So that's why this will be adverse. Yes, Sri Hari. I have written everything in the explanation. So this part talks only about days. कितने दिन ऑफिस आना चाहिए था? 25 days. But we work for 26 days. 1 day extra we work. That's why it is favorable. When talking about capacity, we have the capacity to work for 30,000 hours, but we work for 33,000 hours. Considering the days part, it is 1,800 hours extra we work. So that's why it is favorable, because we worked above our capacity. Next part, when talking about efficiency, the name itself says whether we have worked efficiently or not. In this case, no, because there is an inefficiency of 500 hours. So waiting for your queries, guys. I request you guys to please copy the explanation also. Any doubts, Raboni, Priyanka, Vedant? Can you please tell me the question, Vedant? Alok, Dhyanesh, Pranav, any doubts? Kavita, Mohsin, Abdul, Srujna, Akarma Ansari, Piyush Chaurasia, Pranav, Sunil Kumar, Manoj Kumar Thakur, Jyoti Jha, Prachi Kapoor, Shivani, anyone, any doubts, guys? Waiting for your queries. Even you have very small query also, you guys can please post your query. I just want you guys to be thorough with the concept by the end of this session. Anyone else having any doubts? Mr. Thomas? Priyanka, any doubts? Sunil Kumar? Sushil Kumar? Srujna? Prachi Kapoor? Any doubts? Well said, Manoj Kumar. For the duration you are using your mobile or your over WhatsApp or Instagram, that shows your inefficiency, my dear. I request you guys to please copy this explanation because अगर अभी आपको समझ में आ रहा है, there are chances that you might forget few things. So I request you guys to please write this explanation in your notebook. Yes, Prachi Kapoor, Kavita Chandak. I hope you are thorough with the concepts. Giving you 3 to 4 minutes time, I request you to please copy the explanation part. I'll be covering this part, Akarma. Don't worry, my dear. So giving you 2 minutes time to please copy the explanation and do revise what I have discussed till now. Kavita Chandak, again, listen to my explanation very carefully. Your statement is completely incorrect कि sir हमेशा correct favorable ही होगा. Very important. If we work above our capacity, then it will be favorable. So if my budgeted days are 25 and my actual days are 26, it means what? I have worked for one extra day. So that's why it is favorable. But let's say if my budgeted days are 25 and I worked only for 23 days, that is 2 days less than my budgeted days. So then it will be adverse, Kavita. Very good, Mr. Aslam. So now let's proceed further, guys. Yes, I'll be giving one question. Don't worry, Aslam. Now, what if in case, if the number of days are not given? What if in case the number of days are not given in the question? The number of days are not given in question. So let's discuss the same question. Yes, you have to, Dhyanesh. So what if in case the number of days are not given in the question? So there will be no change in the overhead cost variance. Very simple, we will calculate the fixed overhead variance in the similar way only, that is 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So how much for 32,500 units? 48,750. But we actually incurred 50,000. That is 1250 overheads extra we incurred. That's why it is adverse. Further, again 2 parts. When talking about expenditure variance, again no change in expenditure variance. Why? Because nowhere it is related to the number of days. So 45,000 we were supposed to incur, we incurred 50,000. So how much extra we incurred? 5,000, adverse for the company. Similarly, in case of volume variance also, there will be no change. Because again, it is nowhere related to the number of days. The calculation is nowhere related to the number of days. So we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units. However, we actually manufactured 32,500 units. That is, kitne extra units manufacture kiye? 2,500 units extra we manufactured. Into my rate per unit, that is 1.5 per unit. So this will be 3,750 favorable. Now let's move towards the next part. Very important, guys, since the number of days are not given in the question. Since the number of days are not given in the question, so we will assume that the number of days are equal. That is, the budgeted number of days and the actual number of days are equal. So since the number of days are not given in the question, so we will not calculate calendar variance. We can't calculate calendar variance. We'll directly start with capacity variance. Fixed overhead, capacity variance. Now, since the number of days are not given, so we will assume that the budgeted days and actual days are same. Since the number of days are not given, so we will assume that the budgeted days and actual days are same. So when talking about capacity variance, we can easily calculate That is, we have the capacity to work for 30,000 hours, but we worked for 33,000 hours. That is 3,000 hours. That is 3,000 hours. We worked above our capacity. Therefore, 3,000 hours into the rate per hour, that is 1.5 per hour. So here it is 4,500. Favorable. Why favorable? Because we worked above our capacity. हमारा capacity 30,000 hours का ही था, but since the number of days are not given, so we can straight away calculate capacity variance. That is 30,000 hours हमारा capacity था. We worked 33,000 hours. So 3,000 hours we worked above our capacity. That's why it is favorable. Guys, most of the students face this problem that sir adverse होगा या favorable होगा. Just think practically. हमारा capacity कितना है और हमने क्या कितना काम किया. When talking about efficiency variance, again there will be no change. Wherein 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. So 1 unit, 1 hour. It means 32,500 units, 32,500 hours. But we worked for 33,000 hours. It means 500 hours is my inefficiency into 1.5, that is 750 adverse. So if the number of days are not given, this is the way we have to calculate all these variances. There will be no calendar variance. And the second impact will be the capacity variance we can calculate in a straight way. So if you guys have any queries, you guys can please post your query. Yes, you can, Pramod Kumar, don't worry. The concepts are same whether it is CA or CMA. Well said, Dhyanesh. Anyone else having any doubts, queries, can please post your queries. Yes, Sri Hari. I request you guys to please copy this part. More than sufficient, Pramod Kumar. So now, let's take one more situation. If the number of hours worked are not given in the question. If the number of hours worked are not given in the question, I repeat again. No, Miss Ansari. This is the way you have to follow the concepts. Pramod Kumar, better try to attend all the sessions. I assure you, you will score good marks. The only thing is that there should be a clarity of concepts on the chapters what you are studying. And apart from this, it requires lots and lots of practice and hard work to score good marks. So now, what if in case R's are not given in the question? Again, there will be no change in the cost variance. Again, expenditure variance also, it will be same. That is 45,000 minus 50,000 is equals to 5,000 adverse. Again, no change in the volume variance also. We were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we manufactured 32,500 units. So 3,750 favorable. Now, since the number of days are given, we have to calculate calendar variance. So we were supposed to work for 25 days in a month, but we work for 26 days. That is 1 day extra we work into rupees 1,800 per day, the rate per day. How come 1,800? 45,000 divided by 25. So this is 1,800 favorable. Now, since the number of hours are not given, we will not calculate the capacity variance. I repeat again, since the number of hours are not given, we can't calculate capacity variance. So capacity variance will not be calculated. But the important part is efficiency variance. How to calculate efficiency variance? The point is we were calculating efficiency variance using hours. And since hours are only not given, the point is how to calculate efficiency variance. So very important, efficiency variance will be calculated using days and units. We'll be using days and units to calculate the efficiency variance. So let's start. 25 days, how many units? 30,000 units. We actually work for how many days? So 26 days, how many units? 31,200 units. How come 31,200? 30,000 units in 25 days. So 26 days में. So in short, 26 days में कितने unit manufacture होने चाहिए थे? 31,200. But in these 26 days, we manufactured how much? 32,500 units. That is how many units extra we manufactured? 1,300 units extra we manufactured into the rate per unit, that is 1.5 per unit. So this will be 1,950 favorable. Why favorable? Because in 26 days, we were supposed to manufacture 31,200 units only. But in these 26 days, instead of 31,200 units, we manufactured 32,500 units. That is 1,300 units extra we manufactured. That is, we did well, we performed well. It shows efficiency rather than inefficiency. So that's why it is favorable. So if the days are not given, I have discussed. If the hours are not given, I have discussed. If you guys have any queries, you guys can please post your queries. The total tallies, that is calendar variance plus efficiency variance, will be volume variance. Volume plus expenditure will be the cost variance. The purpose of drawing this chart is for better understanding that iska total kya hoga for verification. If you guys have any queries in this part, you guys can please post your queries. Any doubts? Pranav, Dhyanesh, Shivani, Priyanka, waiting for your queries, guys. Else I'll be posting my query now and you have to address the same. So it's your time. So better, whatever the queries you have, you guys can please post your queries. It is 1300 units. That is 32,500 minus 31,200, 13 into 1.5 per unit. It will be 1950 favorable, Dhyanesh. So what if in given, then capacity variance will not be calculated and efficiency variance will be calculated using days. If the days are not given, then calendar variance will not be calculated and capacity variance can be calculated straight away. Rest, cost variance will always remain same, expenditure variance will always remain same, and volume variance will always remain same. Volume talks about only units कि कितने यूनिट मैन्युफैक्चर करने चाहिए थे 30,000, कितने यूनिट मैन्युफैक्चर किए 32,500, how much extra units we manufactured 2,500. When talking about efficiency, the work was, see, we can calculate it in an alternate way also. We can assume the inefficiency or efficiency in days and we can multiply it by per day rate also. But to avoid the decimal figures, I have used this concept where in 25 days में कितने यूनिट्स बनने चाहिए थे 30,000 यूनिट्स बनने चाहिए थे. But so in short, we actually work for 26 days. It means कितने यूनिट्स बनने चाहिए थे 26 days में 31,200. But in these 26 days, we manufactured 32,500 units. That is 1,300 units is our efficiency. We worked extra, we performed well, and we manufactured 1,300 units extra. So that's why it is favorable. Yes, I'm giving one question. Now it's the time for a query from my side. So I'll be giving two questions. The first question, let's start, guys. So you are required to calculate all the variances. Waiting for your answers, guys. No, Shriyari. So waiting for your answers, guys. When talking about the question, the budgeted days are 24 and actual days are 22. Hours given are budgeted hours 50,000 and actual hours are 54,000. Units, the budgeted number of units are 1 lakh and the actual number of units are 1,05,000. Further, when talking about overheads, it is 1,44,000 as the budgeted overheads. And the actual overheads are 1,58,000. So waiting for your answers, guys. I repeat again, the budgeted days are 24, actual days are 22. 50,000 budgeted hours, actual hours are 54,000. Budgeted units 1 lakh, actual units 1,05,000. Budgeted overheads 144 and actual overheads 158. So I have got answer from Mr. Aslam. He has calculated the cost variance and I think, let me check whether your answer is correct or not. Yes, Aslam, your answer is correct. Very good. Sunil Kumar, correct answer. Shivani, correct answer. Pranav, correct answer. Dhyanesh, very good. Your answer is correct. Manisha, very good. Your answer is correct. Waiting for others to answer, please. Okay, Jyoti Jha, expenditure variance, cost variance, expenditure. Cost variance is correct. I think you have calculated all the variances. Expenditure variance is also correct. So expenditure variance is correct. Cost variance is correct. Please repost your answer relating to calendar variance. Okay, I've got answer from Vinodini. Your answer is correct. Yanesh, correct answer. Pranav, correct answer. Yes, rest everyone. Where are you all? Miss Ansari, Srujna, Priyanka, Shivani, Abdul, Kavita, Mr. Thomas. I've got answer from Pranav. Okay, Vedant, very good. Vedant, my dear, your answer is incorrect. Vedant, please check your answer. Your answer is incorrect. Miss Ansari, correct answer. Sunil Kumar, correct answer. Jyoti, waiting for your answer. Mr. Mohsin, Priyanka, Piyush, Sushil Kumar, Barik, Lakshmi, waiting for your answers, guys. Very good, correct answer. Shri Sai Srujna, Pranav, Vashisht. Let me check whether your answer is correct or not, Pranav. Pranav, you have to write whether it is adverse or favorable, my dear. Yes, it is correct. Manoj Kumar Thakur, please post the complete answer, my dear. Prachi Kapoor, where are you, my dear? I have not received any answers from your end, Prachi. Kavita, fixed overhead expenditure variance, volume variance. Okay, very good, Kavita. Let me check. Roshan Thomas, cost is correct. Expenditure is correct. Can you please mention that you have not mentioned that which variance you have calculated? Dhyanesh, your answer is incorrect. लोकेश कुमार सर आपके आंसर नहीं पहुंचे अभी तक. Still on the way. Please repost your answer, Lokesh. Not getting your answers, Lokesh. Jyoti Jha, I think you have solved the complete question. Very good, Jyoti. Let me check your answers. Still few of you guys are sleeping, I think. I got answers from many of you. Mr. Sri Hari, waiting for your answer. Piyush Chaurasia, you have not posted your answer. Alok Shivlani, I think you have not posted your answer. Piyush Chaurasia, Sunil Kumar, finally got your answer. Yes, Prachi, cost variance is correct. Expenditure variance is correct, Prachi. When talking about please check your volume variance. It is incorrect, Prachi. Pranav Vashisht, your answer is correct. Alok, waiting for your answers. No worries, Mr. Aslam. All the three variances that you have calculated are correct. No worries, Alok. Please do post your answers. So now let me solve this question for you. Fixed overhead cost variance. One lakh 44,000 overheads for 1 lakh units. So for 1 lakh 5,000 units, how much? $151,200. But we actually incurred 1,58,000. So this is 6,800 adverse. Next is expenditure variance. When talking about expenditure variance, 144 minus 58. So this will be 14,000 adverse. When talking about volume variance, we were supposed to manufacture 1 lakh unit, but we manufactured 1,05,000 units. That is 5,000 units extra we manufactured into the per unit rate. That is 1,44,000 divided by 1 lakh. So this will be 1.44 per unit. So this is how I'll get 7,200 favorable. That is very important. It is favorable. Kavita madam. Yes, Kavita Chandak, very important. Herein, the calendar variance will be adverse because the number of days we have worked is less than the budgeted. You have posted a query, sir, hamesha favorable hi hoga kya? No, it's not always favorable. If the actual number of days are less than budgeted days, then it will be adverse. So when talking about calendar variance, budgeted days are 24, but we actually work for 22 days. It means 2 days less than what we budgeted into 1,44,000 divided by 24 days. So this will be 6,000. So this is 12,000 adverse. Now I've got your answer, Lokesh Kumar. Piyush Chaurasia, very good. I think you have posted all the answers and I think all your answers are correct. Let me check. Manoj Kumar, no worries, my dear. Very good, Roshan Thomas. Very good, Lokesh Kumar. Let me check. Prachi Kapoor, please check your calendar variance. Now, when talking about capacity variance, again, we have the capacity to work for 50,000 hours in 24 days, but we work for 22 days only. 50,000 hours, 24 days, but we work for 22 days only. It means what? We have the capacity to work for only 45,833 hours. But we actually worked for 54,000 hours. That is 8,167 hours extra above my capacity into the per hour rate, and the per hour rate will be 1,44,000 divided by 50,000. So this will be 2.88. So this will be favorable. When talking about efficiency variance, $50,000 hours, 1 lakh unit. It means 1 lakh unit, 50,000 hours. It means 1 unit, how many hours? 0.5 hours. Since we manufactured 1,05,000 units, so the work should be completed in 50,500 hours. But we actually took 54,000 hours. That is 1,500 hours is my inefficiency. Into the rate per hour, that is 1,44,000 divided by 50,000, that is 2.88 per hour. So this will be 4,320 adverse. So this is the way you guys have to solve the question. I think few were not able to solve the capacity variance. Kavita, please check your answer. It's incorrect. Very good, Dhyanesh. All the answers are correct. Yes, Vinodini, your answers are correct. Alok Shivlani, please check your answer is incorrect. The efficiency variance will be calculated as follows, wherein 1 lakh units 50,000 hours. It means 1 unit 0.5 hours. 1 lakh 5,000 units, how many hours? 50 to 500 hours. It means 1 lakh 5,000 units should be manufactured in 50 to 500 hours, but we actually took 54,000 hours. That is, 1,500 hours is my inefficiency into the rate per hour. No, Mr. Aslam. It is not calendar variance, Prachi. It is capacity variance. I request you guys to please copy the solution. Very good, Sunil Kumar. Yes, rounding of difference is acceptable, Manoj Srihari. I'm discussing only fixed overhead variances now. One more question for you guys. Yes. Yes, Vedant, I have checked your answer. Your cost variance, expenditure variance, volume variance, your capacity variance and efficiency variance is incorrect, Vedant. No worries, Piyush. So let me post one more question, guys. Just give me a minute. I'll frame the question. Have some patience. So this is the question for you guys. You have to calculate the variances. Very good, Sunil Kumar. So this is the question wherein the budgeted days are 25, man hours per day 2000, man hours required per unit 1.25 hours per unit. Overheads are absorbed at the rate rupees 4 per hour. Actual days 26, hours work 52,000, man hours required per unit 1. Actual overheads 2,20,000. You have to calculate all the fixed overhead variances. It's up to you now, Vedant, how to calculate. This is the question. Assume it is of 8 marks in exams. Let's see how many of you score full out of full marks. So waiting for your answers. I've got answer from Sunil Kumar, and I think Sunil Kumar approach is correct. So very good, Sunil. I think your answer is correct. Let me check. So waiting for your answers, giving you 10 minutes time. You have to post your answers within not 10 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes max to max. So waiting for your answers today. There is no break because it's the last session of standard costing and many more points to discuss. So I request you guys to please solve the question, giving you 7 to 8 minutes time. So I have got answer from Dhyanesh, Aslam, Alok, Jyoti, Dhyanesh. Waiting for your answers, guys. Okay, Jyoti Jha, I've got Jyoti has posted all the answers. That is cost, expenditure, calendar, efficiency, and capacity. Capacity. Okay, let me check Jyoti. Pranav Vashist, cost variance he has calculated. Shri Sai Srujna, waiting for your answer, my dear. Still not received answers from many of you. The question is not tricky. Just read the question carefully. Everything is there in the question itself. Very good, Mr. Aslam. I've got an answer from Manoj Kumar Thakur, Varsha. Varsha, can you please mention what is which variance you have calculated? So now, enough of time to everyone. So now, as I told you, if the problem is given in any sort of, and if any other format, better prepare the table. That is what all figures we do require, that is budget and actual. So follow the steps. Budgeted days are given, that is 25, and actual days are given 26. When talking about hours, it is man hours per day. 2000 man hours every day. And total days we are working is how much? 25 days. So total 50,000 is my budgeted hours. And my actual hours are given straight away, that is 52,000 hours. Next is units. It is written in the question, man hours required per unit 1.25. Yes, Vedant. The information relating to units is given in the question that every unit require 1.25 man hours. So 50,000 divided by 1.25, that is we actually manufactured 40,000 units. That is 50,000 hours, and every unit require 1.25 hours. So we can easily calculate the number of units, that is 40,000 units. Further, when talking about the actual units, it is given hours worked is 52,000 and man hours required per unit is 1. So the actual number of units will be 52,000. Further, when talking about overheads, it is given overheads are absorbed at the rate rupees 4 per hour. So 50,000 into 4 hours, total 50,000 hours into the rate is 4 per hour. So the budgeted overheads will be 2 lakh and my actual overheads are 2,20,000. So now my master table is ready. So once this table is ready, you can calculate any of the variances. I've got answer from Jyoti, Alok, Aslam, Akrama, Roshan also has posted all the answer. Lokesh Kumar, Kavita Chandak has posted the answer. Vedant has also posted all the answer. Very good, Vedant. So let's start with cost variance first. It is nothing but under or over absorption of overhead. So 2 lakh overheads, 40,000 units. So for 52,000 units, how much? 2 lakh overheads for 40,000 units. My actual production is 52,000 units. So my absorbed overheads are 2,60,000 and my actual overheads are 2,20,000. So it is 40,000 favorable. Here in my absorbed overheads are 2,60,000 and my actual overheads are 220. So that is 40,000 favorable. Now the next part, that is expenditure variance. So the name itself says expenditure, that is 2 lakh we were supposed to incur minus 2,20,000 we actually incurred. So 20,000 adverse. When talking about volume variance, the difference in units, 40,000 units we were supposed to manufacture. We manufactured 52,000 units. That is 12,000 units extra we manufactured into the per unit rate. That is 2 lakh divided by 40,000. So that is 5. That is 60,000 favorable. So 60 favorable, 20,000 adverse, net 40,000 favorable. The total tallies. Now next is calendar capacity and efficiency. So calendar variance. As I told you, we were supposed to work for only 25 days, but we worked for 26 days. That is 1 day extra into the rate per day. That is 2 lakh divided by 25. That is 8,000. So that is 8,000 favorable. When talking about capacity variance, $50,000 hours capacity in 25 days. So in 26 days, we have the capacity to work for how many hours? 52,000 hours. And in 26 days, we work for 52,000 hours only. So no capacity variance. In 26 days, we have the capacity to work for 52,000 hours and we actually worked for 52,000 hours only. So the capacity variance is nil. Now the last is efficiency variance. $50,000 hours, 40,000 units. It means 1 unit take 1.25 hours. We actually manufactured 52,000 units. So the work was supposed to be completed in 65,000 hours. But we actually completed the work in 52,000 hours. That is 13,000 hours less than what we expected. So it shows our efficiency divided by the rate per hour, that is 4. That is 2 lakh divided by 50,000. So 13,000 into 4, it is 52,000 favorable. So 52,000 favorable plus 0 plus 8,000 is 60,000. Now let me check. Very good, Dhyanesh, your efficiency variance is incorrect. Calendar variance is also incorrect. Why you guys are rushing for the solution? Have some patience now, because a few of you guys have posted incorrect answer. So let me check 1 second. Okay. 1 second. So Alok, your answer is correct. Expenditure variance is correct. Jyoti Jha, calendar variance, it is 8,000. Yes, Jyoti, very good. So Jyoti was the first one to answer all the questions. So very good, Jyoti, you're doing good. Volume variance, yes, Dhyanesh. Mr. Aslam, volume variance, very good. Calendar variance, Alok Shivlani, yes, it is correct. Expenditure variance, yes, it is correct. Akram Ansari, Dhyanesh, 50,000. Dhyanesh, I suggest you to please read the question carefully. You're not getting the correct answers. Roshan Thomas, expenditure, efficiency. Roshan, your answers are, few answers are correct, few are incorrect. Manoj Kumar Thakur, Lokesh Kumar, cost variance is correct, expenditure variance is correct, volume is correct, calendar is correct, and efficiency. Lokesh Kumar, why you are rushing for the solution? It is 13,000 into 4. You can also check the solution as calendar plus capacity plus efficiency will be volume. Volume plus expenditure will be cost. Very good, Kavita. You are improving now. Your concepts are better now. Prachi Kapoor, expenditure calendar is correct. Dhyanesh, I do expect a correct answer from you. Your answers are incorrect. Anji, that's why I'm saying why you are rushing for the solution. The entire solution was correct. A slight mistake that you have not multiplied it by the per hour rate. Lokesh. Very good, Kavita. Your answers are correct. काफी improvement किया है कविता. I mean, I'm very happy with all your efforts. Still, few were not able to answer, and I've not received answer from many of you guys. Anyways, this is all what about fixed overhead now. Remaining part, that is the last part of the chapter, variable overhead, I'll be discussing now. Very good, Srujna. Your answer is correct. Finally, you got the answer. So now let's move towards the next part of the chapter, the most easiest part, that is variable overhead variances. So let's start. Again, try, if the question is given in the format, then better. It's very easy for us. If it is not given in this format, try to prepare this table, that is budget and actual. Further, In this question, let's say hours are given 30,000 and 33,000. Let's say units are same, that is 30,000 and 32,500. And variable overheads. $60,000 and $70,000. So now the calculation of variable overhead variances is very simple, guys. No worries, Dhyanesh, that's completely okay. Yes, Mr. Aslam, you were the second. Vedant Vora, yes, I think your answers were correct. I have checked your answer. I think I have mentioned your name also. No worries, Srujna. The practice is the only solution. You have to practice a lot. Prachi, your answers were correct. Very good. So let's start with variable overhead variances now. Now, this is the most easiest part of the chapter as compared to material, labor, and fixed overhead. So let's start. The first one is variable overhead cost variance. Similar to fixed overhead, wherein we do calculate the under or over absorption of overhead. So 60,000 overhead for 30,000 units. In similar way, just like fixed overhead cost variance, we will calculate the variable overhead cost variance also, wherein 60,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? $65,000. But we actually incurred how much? 70,000. That is 5,000 extra we incurred. So that is adverse. So the calculation of cost variance is similar to what we have discussed in fixed overhead. That is 60,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 65,000 minus the actual overheads are 70,000. That's why it is 5,000 adverse. Now, variable overheads keeps changing. Fixed overheads remain constant at all the level of production. However, variable overheads changes according to the production or hours work. So, when talking about the expenditure variance, the calculation is different from fixed overhead. The variable overhead changes as per hours. So, very simple, 60,000 overheads for 30,000 hours. So for 33,000 hours, how much? 66,000. I repeat again, fixed overhead में हम लोग straight forward करते थे 60 minus 70. But variable overhead, the name itself says variable, it varies. So herein it changes as per hours. So 60,000 overheads for 30,000 hours. So for 33,000 hours, how much we should have incurred? 66,000. But actual amount spent is how much? 70,000. So that is 4,000 adverse. The last part is the efficiency variance. Again, the calculation is similar to what we have discussed in fixed overhead. 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. 1 unit, 1 hour. So 32,500 units, how many hours? The work was supposed to be completed in 3,500 hours. It means what? The 32,500 units should be manufactured in 32,500 hours. But we actually took how much? However, we took 33,000 hours. That is 500 hours is what? or inefficiency. So here in 500 hours is my inefficiency. The work was completed in 33,000 hours. So 500 hours is my inefficiency into the per hour rate, that is 60,000 divided by 30,000 hours. So that is 1,001. So this calculation is similar to what we have already discussed in fixed overhead. This calculation is also similar to what we have discussed in fixed overhead. But yes, the calculation that will change is the expenditure variance, because the name itself says variable overhead. It varies. So if you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please tell me. Waiting for your queries, guys. I request you guys to please copy the solution also. No other variances, Pranav. This much is all what about variable overhead variances. Yes, Kavita. सिर्फ 2 वेरिएंस ही कैलकुलेट करना है. Okay, now so now a tip how to study this chapter. Now a tip from my side how to study this chapter, how to revise this chapter. So guys, first and the foremost thing what you have to do is right from start, that is from material variance, solve the question twice what I have discussed in class. Solve the first question, that is 60, 40, 100, 20, 80, 700, 300, that question. Solve the question twice using the concepts that I have discussed in the class. Thereafter, right from start, right from the first illustration, solve each and every question one by one using the concepts. As far as there is a query from Srujana sir, there are many missing figure question also. So for you, Srujana, try solving these missing figure question. Prepare this chart, prepare this table, and whatever the figures you can find out, try to find out. जो भी फिगर्स आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं, try to figure out using your concepts and knowledge. I assure you, you will be able to solve all the questions relating to missing figures. So don't worry. Still, if you are not being able to solve the missing figure questions of material, I'll try to keep a query session wherein the first point what I'll be addressing will be the missing figure question. But trust me, you will be able to solve all the missing figure questions. In the past batch or in the past lecture, I think I have discussed 1 or 2 questions on missing figure. So I request you, Srujana, to please refer refer the lectures of the last batch. I hope you'll be able to solve the questions. Thereafter, again, the labor variance also solve the question what I have discussed twice in writing using concepts and then solve all the questions of study material. And similarly, in case of fixed and variable overhead. Once you are done with all the practical questions, that is all the illustration of study material, then start with the practical questions. Try to solve again the practical questions in writing. And once you are done with the illustration and practical question, approach for the practice manual. Thereafter, solve all the questions of practice manual. So by the time you finish practice manual, you will be thorough with the concepts and then start solving the past examination question. You will feel more confident that yes, I can appear in exams and I can solve the questions on standard costing very easily. So first illustration of study material, practice questions of study material, then practice manual question, and then start solving the past examination question. Trust me, guys, वो feeling ही अलग होगा when you are able to solve examination question easily and on your own without referring the solution. So follow this approach. Again, no need to memorize the formulas. Formulas याद मत कीजिए, else you guys will be stuck in the missing figure question. Stick to the concept, memorize the concept, try as much as possible solving the question in writing. I assure you, by the time you finish all the questions of study material and practice manual, you will be able to solve any questions of inter-level of past examination questions. So further, you can type practice manual is, I'm talking about practice manual. It is the past practice manual that was issued by ICAI. It is there on ICAI portal also. You can type it over Google, practice manual CA, enter, you will be able to find the practice manual soft copy. So take the printout and try to solve the questions of practice manual. The practice manual contains the questions of past exams also and few additional practice questions also. Apart from this, I'll be posting few questions on standard costing, a bit tricky one. So I request you guys to solve the question. Please keep on checking the portal. You will get few questions from my side also on standard costing, a bit tricky one, not like the simple question. So don't worry. Apart from this, I'll be posting the questions on other chapters also. So have some patience, guys. Plus, again, try to solve as much as possible. Because see, once you practice, first and the foremost thing, the benefit what you will get is the concept, the more clarity in the concept. And second thing, the most important thing, the speed, because you have to complete the paper in a time frame. So better once you practice, you will develop a speed how to solve the question. So there is no alternate of hard work. Try as much as possible. Try solving as much as possible the number of questions you can solve. So that's it for the day, guys. In the next session, we'll start with marginal costing. Again, I'll be putting up many questions in the lecture for you guys to solve in the live session. So there are 4 sessions allocated for marginal costing. So see you guys day after tomorrow. It's already 9:29, and since I've not given a break today, so let's conclude this session. I'll not be extending this session today. So thank you so much, guys, for your time and patience, for active participating in the session, plus posting your answer. So try to solve the questions. That's it for the day. God bless you guys. Take care. See you day after tomorrow with a new chapter that is marginal costing. Thank you so much, guys.